Death to the IDF. Death to the IDF. You know what I mean? It's all fucking crazy, dude. So, let's see, is this... It's working. Okay, at least we know it's working.
I'll check when I get to the house.
Alright, so I heard that Naveed Akram, aka Bondi Beach guy, is actually an IDF soldier. So I wanted to see if I could find it out. Well, that is a Facebook page, so I can't look at that. ASIO examined Bondi Beach gunman in 2019 for ties to Islamic State cell. New information on Naveed Akram, the Bondi terror suspect. Looks like this has been completely scrubbed then, huh? Bondi shooting suspect Naveed Akram charged with 15 counts of murder. The claim that Naveed Akram was responsible for the body is widely circulating. Well, shit. It already has a wiki page. Let's see what the wiki page has to say. On December 14, 2025, an Islamic State ISIS-inspired terrorist attack occurred at Bondi Beach in Sydney. How is that even a viable statement? You know, if you could show me the inspiration, like they saw this shoot a beach up and be like, oh yeah, we're inspired by that. You coming or what? I'm closing the door. Are you coming? Come on, dummy. God, I hate this dog. During a celebration of the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah attended by around 1,000 people, two gunmen, allegedly Saeed Akram, an Indian national and Australian permanent resident, and his Australian son, Naveed Akram, killed 15 people, including a 10-year-old child. Yeah, I'd love to know who those people were. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't buy it. Weapons. One Beretta. Let's go! What are you doing, dumbass? Let's go. Stupid dog. Stupid dog. Stupid dog. One Beretta BRX-1 straight pull rifle, two 12-gauge Stoeger M3000 M3K shotguns, and 5 homemade bombs. I'll go. What's going on? Interesting how they didn't use any of the bombs. They never seem to. Have you ever... Have you ever noticed how many times they do that? How many times they say that there was the shooting, and the shooter had a bunch of bombs, and you ever notice that? And then they never ever, like, I can't think of any time it's ever happened. Let's go. How about you stop being lazy and get your butt up? Let's go. What?
11 every morning. I'm tired.
Nate, get up. I don't care if you're tired. You can go to bed when you're done.
No, Dad, don't. The squirt bottle. Please don't.
Get up.
I can't.
Okay.
Stop!
I'd be willing to bet you can.
don't.
Let's go. Eat your food. Eat it. Fine, dude. You can eat when you get home. Let's go. Nothing more that I love than wasting a whole bunch of food. Mass shooting, attempted bombing, terror. Seriously, can you think of a time when some sort of shooting happened and then there was bombs attached to it that exploded and you know, did what bombs do? Because I can think of all kinds of stories where I've heard that narrative that they were found with bombs, but I can't think of any time that I can ever actually say, you know, think of something like that's Israeli kind of shit. That's the double tap kind of shit where, you know, you bomb a hospital, then you wait for the first responders and news to show up, and then you hit the exact same target. It's called a double tap. Israel's, you know, very guilty of this. But that's the only time I've ever heard of anything like that. Deaths, 16, including one perpetrator. So if one of the perps is dead and the other one isn't, do we hear from them? Do we get to see anything about them? The dad was the one killed. Motive: anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, Islamic State ideology. Accused: Naveed Akram. So the dad's not accused? Charges: murder 15 counts, attempted murder 40 counts, committing a terrorist act, discharging firearm to cause grievous bodily harm, public display of prohibited terrorist symbol. Public display of prohibited terrorist symbol? What? Like even when you, let's just say that was a charge. When you do this kind of shit, right? When you have a whole bunch of charges like this for somebody, you don't give them that one. What are you doing? Okay, so leave your jammies on, put some socks on, tuck them in, then get yourself a pair of pants. You know the routine. You can do it. Leave those jammies on though. Those make great under jammies. 4 people confronted the gunman, attempting to foil the attack. Have you ever heard of that before? Do you ever hear of that? Is that ever how the thing works? Suddenly the people get Captain Americanized and they decide to attack the shooter with the bombs and such? What? Okay, so get to figuring it out. I'm sure you can look.
Where?
Look in there where they always are.
Where? Don't mock me.
Dude, then stop acting stupid. You are, because you know better than this.
There's nothing in here except for dirty clothes.
Keep going down. Those aren't dirty. Those are clean. But that's the bin where the socks go, right?
Yeah, but there's no socks in here.
Yeah, are you sure?
I went to the bottom then.
Okay, don't lay down. Get up. What are you doing? It's really hard to fight childhood laziness. Look around, Nathan. I'm sure you can find something. Oh shit, that thing you were supposed to do last night and didn't do it. fold this shit. Here you go. Here's one pair. And then you'll find another pair. I'm sure of it. Because you so smucking fart. You're so smucking fart. You're so smucking fart. You're smucking fart. You're being anti-Semitic again. I'm not a robot. Then why do you always say the exact same things and can't even begin to engage in the actual conversation? If you're not a robot, you would think you'd be able to say more with your 9 years. You joined 9 years ago, no subscribers. That's a believable narrative. I believe that. Move, 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 move your fat ass, you dumb freaking dog. Chances are, if you have worn a pair of socks, you wore them for like 10 minutes. So, those are clean socks. Those are ones you can put on now.
Oh, they're on my shoulder?
Yeah. Tuck your stuff in and then just grab a pair of the dirty ones and use those as the second pair. Come on, lady, get up. Hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hello, little bits. Oh, hello, little bits. Let's see. Anti-Semitic. Well, I'm not against the Palestinians, so. He's anti-Semitic, but he claims he's not. Never do. Or never have been. I support the Semitic people in the region. I support the Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Iranians, all the people that are being victimized by the Ukrainian, Polish, American, European, Russian Jews that are there invading, right? So it's anti-Semitism that I'm very proud of. Very, very proud of. Because Semitism is policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Right? So there's a, and the funny thing is, this dumbass who claims not to be a robot knows this, right? I've explained it, I've read it, I've shown you guys. It's without a shadow of a doubt, right? There is no possible way you can see this any other way than policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. That's what Semitism means. It's a fact. They're the only group that has a word like that. So when somebody is stupid enough, like straight up stupid enough, to say anti-Semitic, like the Israelis, the Jews are the anti-Semitic ones. They're the ones killing the Semitic people. There's no question about that. And like I say, you'll see that Marcus is just too fucking dumb to be able to actually, and I say Marcus with quotation marks. Marcus is too dumb to actually even begin to, this is the inbred Israeli stupidity that is just everywhere. It's what happens when you're a supremacist cult who breeds with each other like a lot. And I mean, if you just look at it from a physical standpoint, they don't dominate anything physically other than like, you know, the most glasses wearers or, you know, whatever. But they're clearly inferior physically. And if you just, you know, look a little deeper, they're actually clearly inferior mentally. Their success comes from the control, from being able to control every aspect of it, right? From being able to control. So you would think, I'm Mexican, not Jewish. So you would think you would support your people then, huh? Because your people are being invaded by Israel as well. The woman that just got the Nobel Peace Prize is some Jewish woman trying to be the president of Mexico, or maybe she is the president of Mexico at this point. Can't quite remember. But if you're Mexican, then you should absolutely oppose Israel. Mexicans do. Mexico does. But I wouldn't expect you to be smart enough to understand that because, again, you're a fucking bot. You're programmed to be able to, you know, handle only so much. I just think it's weird that you would keep putting yourself into this position. That's the strangest part. Like, it'd be one thing if, like, you know, I found you or I looked for you. It's taken you this long to put one sock on? Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're just stalling and you don't really want to do this, so you're going to take as long as you possibly can. Yeah. Tuck it in your shirt. Okay, grab the next round. Israel deserves Mexico as well. I'm sorry. Okay, but if you were rage baiting me, like, then it should work, shouldn't it? Like, as far as you're rage baiting me by you being stupid. Oh no, please stop rage baiting me because I'm raging so hard at your stupid comments. You're rage baiting me by providing the example. All right, come on, let's go. Where's your winter stuff?
I don't know. This is stuff my mom knows, Dad.
And you have no idea, huh?
All I know is,
It's not that stuff over there?
all I know is, hate sweat.
All right, well, let me go get your mommy for you, okay?
God,
Let me
Dad.
go wake up your mommy because you're not willing to do it. Mommy. 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 We need your help because we can't get dressed. We don't know where all of our stuff is. And we need to get outside to go do our shoveling. Good morning. Sorry. All right. Nah, it's a good dream. Reminds you you're alive. Any idea where Nathan's snow pants and stuff are? Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
She's thinking. It's okay because it's not like math or science. I would never wake her up with math. You know, you're asking for a female to have a factory reset if you wake them up with a math question or some science or something. You know, this is about laundry. So she's gonna shine here, boy. You're gonna see. She is woman, hear her roar. She knows which laundry holds the drawer. Or whatever. Oh, we're down to 0. Look at us. We've been moved down to 0 viewers. Because of course we are, right? No more rage baiting from super smart Marcus, who makes himself look like a piece of shit pedophile to rage bait me. One view is wild. Yep, I fell off, that's for sure. 2,500 subscribers. Yep. You know me, I fell off. 6 months ago, I had 40,000 views. September 11th, 2023, the day after Chizarli got kizerked. Well, Earth ain't changed. I was no longer allowed to get more than 100 views. And if I was, I should be damn grateful. Morning.
Dave.
But even the fact that there's clearly more than 2, 3 people here, doesn't it seem weird? What? Because I'm not hungry. Apparently Nick's sick and Nathan's lazy. Mad. So yeah. So let's go back to this Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach. YOLO. 4 people confronted the gunman attempting to foil the attack. 3 were killed and 1 suffered gunshot wounds. Who are they? Volunteers, surf lifesavers, and Waverly Council lifeguards rushed to the scene to provide first aid during the active shooting. Members of the New South Wales Police Force shot the 2 alleged gunmen. You know that the police station was right across the street and it took 20 minutes for the cops to get there? Police shot the 2 gunmen, killing Naveed Akram and critically injuring Naveed Akram, who was detained. Let me guess, he got shot like in the mouth, so he can't talk. You guys forgetting about Tyler Robinson yet? You know how scary that is? Tyler Robinson shows you that either A, they have a really great operative in place and he just does what he does, he's playing the role, or B, that they can just decide that anyone is a bad guy and they can, you know, say that you sent text, which clearly no one in their right fucking mind, no one, not anyone old or young or anybody would text like that. Like even cops, they wouldn't even send text like that. But it's you know, he's either ice cold killer, or they've just decided that, you know, there was a shooting in Mississippi and Argo did it. So here, Argo, you know, Argo didn't confess. Argo, you know, there's evidence that it wasn't him all over the place. It's a terrible, but hey, they've decided, like, think about how long he's been detained with nothing. They can't charge the guy with anything because he definitely didn't admit to doing anything. Belch. He has yet to confess, so how is he still being held? And it's not like they're going to let him out. You know, it's not like they're going to be like, okay, we made a mistake, let's let him go. Because if he's a real civilian, boy, will he have a story to tell, one, and two, he will have a huge lawsuit. Which really you wouldn't think they care about, since they just print the money. They don't even print the money. They just digitally add zeros to your account. So why would they even care? But it's more about, you know, the losing of face there and looking stupid, I would imagine. 40 people, including at least 2 police officers. We still don't know. We still don't know. Were injured and taken to various hospitals. 4 homemade bombs were thrown into the crowd but failed to detonate. Another homemade bomb was found in a car belonging to one of the shooters. Why would they have failed to detonate? You know, it's the same playbook it always is. It's the same fucking playbook. I'm surprised they're even trying to claim it was 15 people. You know, I'm sure the average age of the people is like 70. You know, for all we know, there was a spike. There was an accident that killed 4 people. And because of that, they pulled another 4 people off of life support, or another 10 people off of life support that they had, just waiting for this occasion. The truth is, you just literally have no idea. But like I was saying about the charges, right? Murder, 15 counts. Attempted murder, 40 counts. Committing a terrorist act. Discharging a firearm to cause grievous bodily harm. Public display of prohibited terrorist symbol. Placing explosive with intent to cause harm. Like, which one of those doesn't belong? And usually in these kinds of situations, like, that extra charge is going to, nothing. It's not going to yield anything. It's not, you know, he has much more serious charges than that. So why aren't they just focused on that? But this is literally what they always do, whether it's Grafton Thomas or it's you know, Robert Bowers Jr. or John T. Ernest, or any of these fuckers that are, you know, these patsies, these people that are used in these events. You know, they throw so many charges at them that the Grafton Thomas thing, they just tried to say that he was terrorist charges and you know, just so many things they tried to stick with the guy. When instead they were like, no, he's just crazy, so we're going to lock him up in Crazyville so nobody can interview him forever. And that's where that story ended. I was shocked, not surprised, but just shocked at the brazen, careless nature where they, you know, I'm watching some random news report about it and the Secure Community Network comes up. mean, the idea that I've stumbled across this. What's up, open-minded? Like, the fact that you guys, when watching the Bondi Beach thing, didn't go, holy shit, secure community network? Why are they? That's the thing guys been talking about. Not even watching the news anymore. Well, you don't have to. You have the secure community network that tells you all you need to know, right? Fucking Fryer. You piece of shit Fryer, you. Again, 4 homemade bombs were thrown into the crowd but failed to detonate. Give me some proof of that. Again, why do so many... The playbook is always that they have explosives, but for some reason the explosives don't detonate every fucking time. I mean, it's just so... Look, you know, I'm never going to commit a terrorist attack. I'm never going to unalive myself. I'm never going to do anything extreme like that. I don't believe in that shit. That is fucking stupid. Literally, because it benefits the enemy more than it does the resistance. You know, unless you could take out like Netanyahu, Smotrich, Ben Gvir, Trump, and all at the same time. But even then, that's just going to make the hammer come down on us harder. So I would never, ever do anything along those lines. Just saying that. But if I did, I definitely wouldn't be so like, you know, if I'm going to do the terror attack, I'm going to cause terror. You know? I'm definitely not going to have explosives that don't explode. What kind of crazy shit is that? What's the point? Belch. And they can fake 15 people being shot, especially when the entire situation is controlled and for some reason this area's cameras weren't working or focused where they, I don't know. But they wouldn't be able to fake a whole bunch, five separate fake explosions. They wouldn't be able to do that. And what's the point of even doing explosions when you can just say that they were there and it has the same effect? Numerous world leaders, news outlets, and Australian authorities declared that the shooting was motivated by anti-Semitism. Which, again, is true, but anti-Semitism isn't what they try to make it sound like it is. Anti-Semitism is anti-supremacy. I don't believe that any one group should get policy or predisposition favorable to them. You're not even special in that regard. It's not just you that shouldn't get it. Nobody should get it. Again, this is the way this works. Like, you have to understand this is the biggest war going on right now is the psychological one. You know, and you have so many of these people that seemingly are waking up. Like it's Inception, you know, they're waking up inside of a dream. Because they're waking up to be like, oh, the Jews are bad because they hate Jesus. Because they hate Jesus. Do you know how much the Jews just laugh at you? The idea that they sit around hating Jesus is hilarious to them. The info war, yeah. Your buddy Alex Jones, because Alex Jones was right. You know, this is the Jesus thing is the biggest obstacle. It's the hardest thing to overcome. And for them to hate Jesus so much, why would they put churches on every corner and make them tax-free and put God on the money and all this other shit? And the president is only supposed to have 33% of the power, but it seems a bit more with Trump. The Trump has no power whatsoever. And if the last week hasn't proven that to you, I don't know what does. Trump answers to Netanyahu. Netanyahu's motorcade was bigger than Trump's was as they're driving around, making their appearances. The president is just a figurehead. He's literally nothing. Do you honestly think the owners of this country, the people that actually run the show, would put an unhinged fucking,
Forgot about Latoya.
What about her?
You're supposed to take her to the dealership this morning.
Who are you talking to?
Remember, I said my husband will have to do it.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? She's blaming me because she forgot something. But I mean, look at it now. Just look at this for what it is. Algo, with everything Algo knows, he still believes in God and Jesus. The only I know issue pushing his points was said, man, he was with while every other president wasn't this moving around and making deals happen. I mean, again, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like this, the only reason Trump seems like such a big deal is because it's current. And this is how they do it. They go, you can look back and you can see it. They go, let's use the Republican president to make a mess of things, to get the people, we'll gauge it. After the first 4 years, if they're ready to revolt, we'll pull the Republican back. But if they're still not ready to revolt after the first 4 years, then we'll give them the next 4 years. And the next 4 years, because we're not worried about getting reelected, we could just do all the worst shit we can think of. And then when the people finally are ready to revolt, they go, oh, look, this guy plays the saxophone. Oh, look at this guy. He's half black and he's well-spoken. Look at he shoots the basketball. You see, Obama can play basketball. Can you believe that? Obama can play basketball. Don't worry, his wife is a man. And that's what they do. Even with Trump, they had to bring in that they gave the 4 years of Trump, and then they were like, oh shit. These people are ready to revolt. This COVID thing didn't work the way we wanted it to. They have to allow COVID to work. And having Trump in office, you can't have COVID do what it's supposed to do. Even though Trump was the one who was in charge for the first year of COVID, people love to forget about that shit. But we were like, oh, fuck this government. We are done with this government. And someone like Biden won. And won by a significant amount. And then there was this cool-off period where we're just supposed to, hey, look, the economy's better, crime's down, everything is better with Biden. And then Trump shows up, we have October 7th, and then we have Trump show up, and Trump, look at how bad Biden is, and everybody's like, yeah, the Mexicans are trying to get me. Yeah, J.D. Vance being next is crazy. But it's not, because it's a show. What I care about is who writes what the president says, who dictates the president's character. You You can talk about George Bluth being an asshole all day, but George Bluth is a fucking character. Everything said and done is manufactured for you to have a feeling that you have. You know, Trump is an absolute piece of shit. And again, they knew about all the Epstein shit. This is part of the plan, is to use the Epstein shit to distract while they, you know, the amount of shit that is passed through legislation while we were concerned about Epstein files, it is just terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying. The way that the Jews are running around buying everything up. You know, what's his name? Larry Adelson. Or, what the fuck's his name? Sheldon Adelson. Larry and his son, whatever the fuck their names are. Not thinking right now, but like this is first of all, people need to realize, one, that Jesus and all that shit is a part of their plan, and two, that the bad guy isn't Israel, because Israel doesn't actually exist. Israel is just a manufactured concept, a construct. They've told us this is Israel, and we go, okay, I guess that's Israel because you say so. But Israel doesn't do anything. Israel doesn't think. Israel is not a voter. Israel is just an idea. Until we realize that the cult is the enemy. Until then, we're distracted. And we have to understand all of the different tentacles coming off of the cult. There are many, many tentacles coming off of the cult. Christianity and Islam are just two of those tentacles. There is no truth in that shit. Like, it's so frustrating, but it also fits because, you know, I've seen since the time when the story leaked that Israel has been paying influencers $7,000 a month to secretly, you know, to either not say certain things or say things in a certain way. And that story, absolutely provable, 100%. Like, there's literally no conspiracy theory about it. The only theory is who gets the money, because that part we didn't get told. And it just so happens that at the same time, all of these quote influencers are boosted to these incredible levels and say virtually the same things. You know, it's the Zionists, it's Israel. You can't say it's the entire cult because they have some friends that are cult members that are nice to them. You know, and God is, you know, the friars, they hate Jesus. That they hate Jesus. It's fucking embarrassing. You know, it's I know that they are laughing at us. Because I know how I feel. When people tell me that I hate Jesus or I hate God or I blame God or something, I just think you're so stupid. Like, you're fucking kidding, right? You don't really believe that, do you? Because you know I don't believe that. You know, that's like me, you know, blaming the color purple for fucking, you know, how cold it is outside. You know, it's fucking stupid. Can you imagine the worldwide celebrations, like if Netanyahu's plane happened to go down on his return trip, killing him and all of his people. Oh, can you imagine the worldwide celebration? And then all of the crybaby, everybody's being anti-Semitic because, he never did anything wrong to anybody. The fact that the Trump character bows down to Netanyahu like he does is just, I don't understand how you see it as anything other than WWE. The Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Netanyahu is Vince McMahon. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. And like how well they're able to insulate him. Not a single reporter, not a single rogue reporter, photographer, whatever it is. When he's saying something, goes, fuck you, you're a war criminal. It never happens. The amount of money, the amount of stuff, the amount that I would give to be able to be put in that position, to where a camera would be in front of both me and Netanyahu and I could say whatever I wanted to say and watch how he squirms. I would call him a fucking first-rate pedophile. First and foremost, I would call him a pedophile right to his piece of shit face. It would take everything in my power not to spit on him. Just to, like, return the favor. Because they spit on us. Well, they spit on Christians. They don't spit on us. But they spit on Gentiles. They spit on Goyim like it's nothing. And when asked about it, how were they going to stop it? How were they going to do something about it? It was either Ben Gvir or Smoltrich. I think it was Ben Gvir. Was like, well, Jews have been spitting on Christians for a very long time, for thousands of years. And then that was it. That was the end of it. There was no follow-up. It's like Diane Sawyer interviewing Prince Andrew. And Andrew saying, well, I didn't sweat. And she's not going, wait, what? Some sort of proof of that? Do you have some sort of documentation? I've never heard of that being a condition anyone has ever experienced before in their life. As a matter of fact, if you couldn't sweat, you would die. Because sweating is your body's way of dealing with overheating. And there are countless pictures of you from that time being the disgusting, sweaty mess that she claims you to be. You're seeing sweating in lots of pictures from that time. So what the fuck are you talking about, Andy? Andy Cap? Well, don't worry. He has been relieved of all of his royal titles. So now he just has to sit and live his rich-ass life without any sort of royal responsibilities. Poor guy. You would give anything to live Andrew's worst day. His worst day is by far your best day. Waking up to the fucking situation he wakes up to, whatever kind of glorious bullshit it is. The royal breakfast that he receives, the pampering. It's ridiculous. Gabby! He's gone. Well, let's keep going. Fuck it. Remember, we're talking about Bondi Beach. Numerous world leaders that declared that motivation was anti-Semitism. It was anti-Semitism, or was it Islamic State terrorism? Which one was it? Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the shooting was deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah. Police charged Naveed with 59 offenses, including 15 counts of murder. Think about what they did with Dylan Root. Or Roof. Is it Root or Roof? I don't remember. When he acted on his own, he made all sorts of videos with Confederate flags and you know, he was treated like, you know, we don't know if we can call this a hate crime, and you know, we don't know, you know, they were reluctant to charge him with this, they were reluctant to do that, they were reluctant. Anytime it's anything that has to do with Jews, it's like, can we charge them with double? Can we charge them with a double murder because they killed one of us? For every Jew that was killed, he was charged with double murder just because they're so much better than everybody else. The ongoing investigation by the federal and NSW police forces is named Operation ARQUES, ARQUES. Really? Why would that be named an operation when they're just investigating a shooting? A royal commission will investigate NSW authorities' policies and practices. That's weird. So all you Australians who think you're free, the royal, meaning the British royals, are going to exercise their authority here. It is the deadliest terror attack and second deadliest mass shooting in Australia in modern history. I mean, as long as you don't include all of the indigenous people, right? That's why they're so big to be like modern history. Mass casualty attacks are uncommon in Australia. It enacted strict gun laws in response to the 1996 Port Arthur massacre, in which 35 people were killed. Australia's gun laws include restrictions on automatic, semi-automatic, and pump-action rifles, as well as shotguns, which were introduced after the 1996 Port Arthur massacre. And yet they had all that stuff. Weird, huh? Despite this, the number of firearms in Australia and the number of people licensed to own them has increased. In New South Wales, where the Bondi Beach shooting took place, there were 260,000 gun licenses in 2025, up from 181,000 in 2001. Again, what does that have to do with any of this? I mean, maybe if more people had guns, this could have been prevented, right? You know, all you ever do by making guns illegal is put them in the hands of the bad guys, because the bad guys don't get guns legally anyway. In August 2024, the Australian Security Intelligence Organization raised Australia's national terrorism threat level from possible to probable, citing the risk of community tensions and political violence related to the Gaza war as one of the reasons for doing so. Again, seems strange, right? Why would the murder of Palestinians in Palestine have anything to do with Australia other than the government are colluding and working together to pull something off? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And the people are resisting what the government is doing, the support for Israel. That's what they mean. When they say the possible to probable, it's because they're openly supporting genocide and terrorism from the Israelis. And the people are resisting it. And they're like, what the fuck? We don't support this. And they know that if they keep backing people into a corner, eventually they're going to strike out. Reuters, Time Magazine, and the Executive Council of Australian Jewry reported an increase in attacks on Jewish communities and individuals in Australia since the beginning of the Gaza war in October of 2023. I mean, Reuters, Time Magazine, and the Executive Council on Australian Jewry. And I would love to know what these attacks on Jewish communities and individuals. Let's see, attack. It's blue, so let's see what it says. This is the anti-Semitism page. Wow, there is a lot. Anti-Semitism in Australia. Okay, let's see. Aftermath. Since the outbreak of the Gaza genocide, well, at least it's reported here correctly. They must not have realized that it said this. Anti-Semitic attacks and other incidents surged in Australia. Incidents centered in Sydney and Melbourne, as well as other regions such as Sunshine Coast and Perth. There's a period there. Included in this round of anti-Semitic incidents were death threats to prominent Australian Jews, bomb threats to synagogues, and vandalism of Jewish-owned shops. So literally nothing. What they're saying as attacks, right? They're calling these attacks because some random bomb threat came in. Some random vandalism happened when 99% of the time, those vandalism reports or those bomb threats or whatever, turns out it was Jews doing it. And when they get caught, they go, well, we were just trying to raise awareness. You know, we were trying to bring attention to the plight. Well, there isn't any sort of vandalism going on other than what you're doing. Yes, but it could. Comment section gets shut off. Everybody got quiet suddenly. In November 2023, hundreds of prominent Australians signed a letter condemning the rise in anti-Semitism. Condemning the rise in they signed a letter condemning the rise in anti-Semitism. That doesn't even mean anything. And they definitely don't do this to protect literally anyone else. Show me the the letter signed to condemn racism against black people or hatred against gays or any other Muslim shit. Show me the protecting Muslim stuff. The signatories include Daniel Andrews, Gladys Berejiklian, Lindsay Fox, and Anthony Pratt. Don't know who those people are. In one incident, on October 9th, a pro-Palestinian rally in Sydney, organized by Palestinian Action Group, took place in front of the Sydney Opera House with rally members chanting anti-Jewish statements. That's literally what they're saying is an attack. It's an incident. In one incident, a rally was formed and they were saying things that we didn't like. Have you ever seen what the protests, the gatherings of Jews, especially in Israel, what they look like? The things those people chant, the things they say? It's fucking unreal. Shit. Why isn't this working? Have you guys noticed that the phones aren't working as well in the last couple weeks? Have you guys noticed that? I love how people are. There's somebody named Noah trying to them me down on the price of some things. Hang on a second. Yeah, hang on a second. Sorry. I think the comment section's been shut off, so I really don't want to keep going like this, but the event led to widespread criticism of the rally. The rally was widely covered with special attention to the alleged use of the chant "Gas the Jews." Yet for some reason there's no proof of that, I bet. Months later, a police review found no evidence that phrase was chanted, positing the possibility that the phrase being chanted was, "Where's the Jews?" The police said that there was no evidence other chants were used at the rally were deemed offensive and socially unacceptable. That's just bullshit. I should be able to chant anything I want. Fuck them and their crazy cult. But look at how the lies are presented to us. I bet you there are all sorts of news reports stating that "gas the Jews" were said, but then when it came out that it wasn't, there was no retraction. On October 10th, several individuals in Melbourne made death threats against Jews. One group harassing a rabbi and his son, and another asking where to find Jews, saying they were hunting for Jews. Is there any proof of this? Or are these just the words of them saying it? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is such insanity. It's so crazy how this is presented to us. On October 11th, a man in Bellevue Hill, New South Wales, threatened to kill 4 Jewish teenagers in a car with an Israeli flag draped on it. He was later arrested and charged. With what proof? I would love to see the proof of any of this. Or even that the thing happened. Because the reality is, it probably didn't happen. They just put these stories out there to threaten us, to keep us in line. In another incident, a New South Wales, and think about this, right? Think about the idea that anytime something goes in a way they don't like, it somehow gets reported and cataloged so that it can be used on this Wikipedia page and shit like that. Like, can you imagine anytime somebody said something you didn't like, you could call a hotline and be like, hey, this was an attack against our people? Do you not understand how insane this is? And this happens all over. This happens all over the U.S. That's, again, a big part of what the secure community network is. They have the hotlines that people can call and say that somebody said something they didn't like. And then that gets chalked up as an anti-Semitic attack. It was an attack. There have been thousands of attacks on Jews in the last few years, and you're like, really? Like, where? Show me. You know, thousands working out to be 4 and 5 different attacks every single day. Really? Where are these attacks taking place? Holy shit, somebody needs to protect them. Well, I mean, you know, 95% of them, 98% of them are somebody said something that they didn't like. You know, or they show up to a pro-Palestinian rally and start picking fights with people, and the people fight back. I mean, you can find so many videos of it where there's a Palestinian protest of some sort, and Jews run by and like grab the flags and attack the people and do, you know, really, really crazy shit that if it was a pro-Israel rally and somebody did that, they would be arrested and charged. This is just fucking insane. In another incident, a New South Wales member of parliament was condemned for her use of anti-Semitic language. Oh my gosh. She said something that we didn't like. At a Palestine Justice Movement forum in late 2023, Jenny Leong, Greens member and for the electorate of Newtown, the New South Wales Legislative Assembly, launched the accusation that the, quote, Jewish lobby and the Zionist lobby are infiltrating into every single aspect of what is ethnic community groups. They rock up and they're part of the campaign and they rock up What does rock up mean? They rock up and they're part of the campaign and offer support for things like the campaign against the 18C racial discrimination laws. They offer solidarity. They rock up to every community event and meet to offer that connection because their tentacles reach into the areas or to the arenas that try and influence power. We need to call that out and expose it. It's crazy how I don't know this broad, never even heard of this broad. And yet she uses the same language I do. And you can't say it's because, you know, I saw somebody, we must have watched the same conspiracy theorist, because I don't watch anybody. And you have to ask yourself, why is that narrative so persistent? And even then, so let's say she's wrong. What's wrong with her saying it and then being shown how she's wrong? Are you saying somebody is not allowed to have an opinion? And we're not allowed to be wrong? Of course we're allowed to be wrong, right? Isn't that how you get better? Isn't that how you improve? Do you guys not see, like, just how utterly ridiculous all of this is? After condemnation... After condemnation of the remarks, Leong apologized for her statements. Why do they always apologize? It completely kills it. Australian Jewish press and community leaders described the incident as exposing Leong's use of the vile anti-Semitic slur and criticizing her attempt to minimize the incident. Vile anti-Semitic slur. Which thing did she say was a vile anti-Semitic slur? I mean, I don't even understand what part's the vile slur. The tentacles aspect? Are we saying, like, are we trying to suggest that they literally have tentacles? Is that what they're trying to say is the slur? Chat is quiet today. At least we know it's working, though. The pejorative term is reported to historically... Wait. The pejorative term is reported to be historically associated with Nazi propaganda. What are they talking about? I don't understand what term they're talking about. The vile anti-Semitic slur. What are we talking about? Or are they saying the whole statement is a slur? Sorry. Leong's comments were condemned by Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Jewish community members subsequently protested in front of Leong's office, with some protesters dressed as inflatable squids. Oh, so it is the tentacles. Because again, this is how stupid they are. Right? Maybe it's actually smart. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe by making the analogy a ridiculous one, it takes away from the power. But the notion that anybody is sort of suggesting that they have physical tentacles is just, that's inbred stupid right there. And are you saying that me, dumbass Guy Williams, is smarter than any sort of political commentator or anything like that, in that I put this together when nobody else could? There's not a single reporter out there, there's not a single journalist out there that is like, hey, wait a minute, guys, you know she didn't mean like literal tentacles. It's actually a pretty common phrase used by any powerful corporation that operates and controls multiple other things without people actually knowing about it. Shit, I don't think the garbage is Chubby girl. See this? Hang on, I got one more for you. Hang on, I got one more. Dude, what is wrong with you? Hey, what are you doing here? This is really light. Got to do those lines, right? Do you understand how, like, impossible it is that I'm wrong? And yet, everything I talk about, everything I look into, you know, it all points to exactly what I'm saying. You know, it would be one thing if I was trying to distract you with Somalia bullshit, right? Oh, look at this one Somali school bilked the government out of $1.9 million. And a citizen journalist found out. And oh man, this is national news and everybody's all upset. $1.9 million? That's literally nothing. Like in the scheme of things, compared to the 60 billion that we just pledged to Israel. Yeah. Because I guess, did the memorandum of understanding go through? Was it signed? You know, I keep forgetting to look for that. This Bondi Beach thing is amazing. There's a lot more to it, so I'm not even going to bother. Memorandum of understanding. Let's see. OHPC signs MOU with Almaco to empower. Who gives a fuck? Memorandum of Understanding, Israel. Let's see now. Maybe now it'll know what I'm talking about. Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, must work on new Israel-U.S. MOU, says the Jerusalem Post. Let's see what they have to say. Because, you know, Netanyahu keeps saying, and has said this for literally decades, that they're on the verge of breaking with the need for American funding, American support for Israel. They're almost there. They're about to break free. They're about to do that. Oh wait, we're gonna sign a memorandum of understanding. Can you talk for a second, please? I gotta go pee.
Oh, it's cold out there. We have blizzard. Looky. It's icky out there. I get cold and nasty. Whew. How y'all doing? No idea what you guys have been talking about, because, yeah. I am, gotta throw a load of laundry in. Oh my goodness.
Get out of here. No, I don't. I don't want to carry it down. I don't want to get it started. I'm not doing shit. No, I know what I don't have to do and what I do have to do, punk ass girl, punk ass. Or, and get this, or, you could continue talking for me for a minute, and then we'll start the laundry.
Aw.
Yeah, that would work out better, wouldn't it?
Okay.
Are you sure those are dirty?
Yeah.
Did you sniff the underwear?
No.
Sniff right at the butthole of the underwear.
No, I'm good.
You'll know if they're dirty or not.
I am good. Oh, is everybody having a happy new year so far? It's, oh, sure as fuck hope it's a better year this year than we just went through, because boy howdy, that sucked. Oh my goodness. Laundry. I hate doing laundry. Laundry sucks. Laundry sucks. Laundry sucks. Laundry sucks. What's this? Aw. It's a little pine cone. I think this goes.
Oh, my plants and your teenagers stink.
Yes, they do.
God damn. Didn't have to get up close and smell a butthole of your own. Oh, yes, I know. The cutest thing ever. The cutest thing ever. I've been following this story for a while. And, I've been trying to get you guys to pay attention to the concept of the Memorandum of Understanding. And we've done some pretty deep dives into it. And we have really seen, the truth, just the simple truth that that they do a lot to try to hide from them, but it's as obvious as it gets. There's just this idea of a memorandum of understanding between the United States and Israel that specifies and designates that we give them billions of taxpayer dollars every year for literally nothing. We get nothing out of it. Like nothing. No benefit to the United States comes from the relationship with Israel, despite what Ted Cruz might have to say. You notice how Ted Cruz was the guy that said we should stop attacking pedophiles, and yet this new thing that they're putting out, this new sensing system, this new monitoring system, one of the things it looks for is attacking pedophiles and preventing that. Here's something stupid. Like here, this guy was trying to sell some busted ass old stereo equipment, some hot stereo equipment. So the police do this huge fucking bust, however many people it is, this, that, and the other, to keep us safe, right? We're going to be safe. Is it drugs? Maybe it's even drugs. Drugs that people choose to do. You know, nobody forces anyone to do drugs. Why is this guy cutting open the box like he is and not just cutting the...
Damn, that's what that came off of. Oops, excuse me.
If this is all for some weed, I'm going to laugh. Hang on. Oh, my God. This guy had some weed. Oh, man. Got to protect the neighborhood from people smoking weed. Because, you know, they become so violent and you know, just wreck the community with their weed smoke. There is an urgent need to begin and conclude as soon as possible discussions on the next MOU between Israel and the U.S., which will follow the current agreement set to expire in 2028. I told you. What have I been telling you? Something isn't right about this shit. Anybody that thinks we should give Israel $3.8 billion a year should just kill themselves. Because they're just pieces of shit. You know, that's American tax dollars that has no business going to a genocidal regime that is a first world country. You know, it's not like they actually need any help. Look at that handshake. Who do you think is in charge there? Does that look like Trump is in charge there? Exactly a year ago, the NAGO Committee on the Defense Budget submitted its recommendations to Prime Minister dickhead douchebag piece of shit Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
No, it's not. It's not enough. He approved them in principle and instructed that they may be implemented. A significant portion of the recommendations, particularly those related to manpower, were implemented in 2025. What the fuck does that have to do with this? Ahead of the Netanyahu-Trump meeting at Mar-a-Lago. So again, the fact this is not called out is just like ridiculous, right? Trump claims to not take a salary, and yet everything he does is at Mar-a-Lago. So Mar-a-Lago then has to accommodate all of the security, all of the everything that comes with the president being there, which is then paid for by tax dollars. So every time Trump does anything, he literally makes money off of it if he goes to Mar-a-Lago or any of his other places. Like how he used tax dollars to go over to, you know, Ireland or wherever and open up that golf course a couple months ago. This shit is insane.
Did you call me again? Which guy? Okay.
You mean the guy that called the cops on us?
I'll send Nathan. Yeah, they've done it before. He wants to pay him. I'll have to send Nathan. Nick's sick, so Nick's in bed. But Nathan's doing Mary Jo's right now.
Well, he's going to do them all. He's just going to walk, so he'll get there. He's not?
Okay. All right. Bye.
Why isn't he doing them all?
Because he was just going to do Mary Jo's.
Why?
Flames. I don't know.
Okay, well, that's not how this works.
I have to go tell him.
Yeah, tell him he needs to do the normal thing. He's going to get a lot more business because he's by himself.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be out there all day.
Okay, he doesn't have to be out there all day. Please don't. See how difficult this is for me? See how difficult this is for me? I got to fight this fucking bullshit. Trying to teach my kids responsibility, hard work. And I got mom over here going, oh, he doesn't want to be out there all day. Because that's what I said. I love when people do that. My wife does that one to me all the time, where she exaggerates like tremendously what I'm saying. Because if I was saying he should be out there all day, then you would have a reasonable argument. Like, what the fuck? Are you crazy? It's cold out there. No kid should be out there all day. See what I mean? It's like, it's such bullshit. It really is bullshit. Are you not taking your phone? Yeah, she left. Memorandum of understanding. Okay. Ahead of the, despite, meeting at Mar-a-Lago, it is worthwhile to revisit those recommendations that most of them remain valid. Despite having been issued before the 12-day war, especially the chapter about the new Memorandum of Understanding on security assistance and cooperation between the U.S. and Israel, which I had the honor of leading and signing the previous one on behalf of the state of Israel a decade ago with the Obama administration. This is being written by Evan Vucci. Why would Evan Vucci have been a signatory on this? That's fucking weird. Now he's writing an article for the Jerusalem Post. The central issues expected to be on the table include Iran and its attempt to rebuild their capabilities that have suffered a severe blow, particularly air defense systems and ballistic missile production capabilities or capacities. Lebanon and the disarmament of Hezbollah. Gaza and the dangers of moving too early to phase 2. So they're still in phase 1, apparently. And like, if you're an American and you support this bullshit, I don't understand. What are you even supporting? $3.8 billion a year to terrorists so they can kill innocent children and shit? So they can lie about beheaded babies. Oh, the babies were beheaded. Nah, that's not true after all. Like, these are rapists. These are monsters. They fucking hate you. They hate you. Average American, average Gentile. They hate you, and they're stupid as shit. You know, they're just as dumb as it gets. I'm shocked by how well this works because they're so fucking stupid. It's like, it just don't make no sense. Syria and the conduct of Muhammad al-Julani, Ahmed al-Shahir, Turkey's aspiration to enter the vacuum left by Russia and Iran in Syria. What the fuck? It just kicked me off to the bottom of the page for some fucked up reason. All right. And to become a dominant force within any future governing structure in Gaza, the Houthis, Qatar, the Muslim Brotherhood, and a wide range of additional issues across arenas that remain active, despite the fact that Israel's security situation is far better than it was before. I mean, this is just fucking insane. Beyond these critical topics, which might not receive sufficient time for in-depth discussion, which they fucking should, this article will focus on the urgent need to begin and conclude as soon as possible discussions on the next MOU between Israel and the U.S., which will follow the current agreement set to expire in 2028. As recommended by the Nagel Committee, the next agreement cannot be identical to the previous one in its approach, content, or method of implementation. Why not? It involves a different president whose views on grants are well known, and Israel's situation has fundamentally changed during the last decade, for better and for worse. Despite voices from various, quote, experts on American politics and President Trump, the cost of error is far too high to gamble. At worst, the answer will be negative. I assume it will not be presented with the right arguments. Netanyahu should present Israel's acute need for American main platforms over the next decade. Various fighter aircraft, aerial refuelers, helicopters, munitions, and thousands of light armored vehicles for ground forces. Why the fuck would we need to pay for that? I would love to know what the dumbass next door has to say about us paying for all this bullshit. You know, he's a big Israel supporter because the Palestinians attack the Israelis just as much as the Israelis attack the Palestinians. That's what he said. The next agreement must include a full implementation of all assistance within the U.S., thereby creating thousands of American jobs. Oh, they're looking out for us. The next memorandum of understanding would give Israel so much extra stuff that it would create thousands of jobs here in the United States. Are you against America? Huh. Are you against the American economy? Don't you want America to succeed? Especially when everything we end up giving to them will be free. It'll be paid for by the grants and shit that he just got done mentioning. Because the funniest thing is that $3.8 billion a year cash influx, cash payment that's given in the first month of the fiscal year every year, that's just the base amount of money. And they don't have to use that to buy any of the shit that they want. Right? They don't have to use that money that we give them to buy anything because we have all sorts of other grants set aside to pay for anything Israel might need. Not to mention, this isn't the only memorandum of understanding that exists regarding Israel. There's another one that says Israel is to have a qualitative military advantage in the region. Meaning, they've decided that Israel's military has to be, say, 75% better than everyone else's. Arbitrary percentage, but that's what they say. And so anytime anybody else, you know, the funny part is, so when these other countries signed the Abraham Accords, which on top of the $3.8 billion a year that we pay for Israel, you give them, we also have to pay out all these other countries for their involvement in the Abraham Accords. Interestingly, right? But everything we give another country in that region to play nice with Israel offsets that qualitative military advantage. So in order to give other countries military equipment or whatever it may be, so they play nice with Israel, we also have to give Israel twice as much as we give those other countries to offset that arbitrary bullshit. It's so fucking crazy how this works. Gotta go get the nails done. Something important. Fucking crazy. It's crazy. And see, this is another one of those things where it's like people go, oh, you hate the friars. You just hate the friars. Huh?
He's across the street. He's right. So funny. Don't yell at him. It's just funny to watch.
Why is he already all the way down here?
He finished my jobs.
Okay, so he still has to then walk all the way back down there.
I told him I would drive him down there. He was already down here when I went.
Okay, but if you drive him, then he can't stop at each house.
He's not gonna give me the phone. He's not gonna stop at each house.
Why do I need to give you the phone?
So you can go talk to him because he's not gonna stop at each house.
He will. That's why it's a good opportunity to make money, and he'll be fine. He's fine. He needs to, when you drop him off, he needs to knock every house. There are plenty of people that probably are waiting for him. Plus, he makes all the money today. Oh, it kicked me all the way back down again. Isn't it weird how many times I'm trying to read some sort of Israeli news, like the stuff I'm supposed to know, and it makes it difficult for me? Isn't that weird? I'm going to do a quick reset because I don't know what's going on. So hopefully you guys come back. Pedophiles, kill yourself.